Aaron LaHood, good to talk to you, sir.
Hey, Greg and Dan, great to be with you guys today.
I want to get right to business here. I'm looking at a copy of a letter that you were part of, you and some other legislators who sent a letter to the Honorable Don Harmon, who's the Senate President, state of Illinois. And the letter's kind of long, so I'm not going to read the letter, but you encapsulate it. It's asking the state for help. What is the help you're asking for?
Well, we got a letter from the new Senate president asking us for essentially what's a bailout for the state of Illinois in a stimulus package.
Okay.
And we sent a response, and in our response, what we said, Greg, is we're happy to consider money and we want to work with the states, but we don't want this to be a bailout for Illinois' financial situation. As you both know, Illinois is in a dire pension financial situation. We're $140 billion in unfunded liability. And we don't want to give some big lump of stimulus money to the state of Illinois and have it never go down to the cities and municipalities. What we do want to help out with is giving money to individual cities. For instance, Peoria. We would love to have money go directly to Peoria. And I think if you talk to Mayor Ardis or other people that serve on the city council in Peoria, they don't like it when the money goes to the state and then the state decides how it gets down to Peoria. Let's give money directly to the city of Peoria. Let them decide how to spend the money the best way they can so that we don't have to lay off 50 police and firemen in Peoria. And the gist of our letter is we're not confident in the federal government giving a big bunch of money to the state of Illinois with no strings attached. And that's essentially what new President Harmon was asking for, and we wanted to clarify that in that letter. We're happy to help. We want to be partners. We think there's money that should go to cities and municipalities, but it should be done in a fiscally responsible way and directly to the city.
I like that. I think that's a very prudent and wise way to look at that. Now, one of the items I'm going to just hone in on, because you literally do ask for some items. One of them is Illinois must withdraw the graduated income tax increase to protect Illinois jobs that were already at risk of losing from the pandemic and to stem the exodus of people and opportunity from this great state. That is an excellent leverage. I like that.
Well, you're right. So, yeah, that is. We did ask that. So, as you know, the graduated income tax is going to be on the ballot in November. It's Governor Pritzker has asked for it. And with this pandemic and the economic crisis that we're in, we don't believe now is the time to raise taxes in Illinois on our income tax, particularly in downstate Illinois. So we've asked that be put aside for another time because of the crisis we're in. And again, raising income taxes on Illinoisans now, I think, is going to cause people to continue to think about leaving the state.
Yes.
And it's going to continue to cause hemorrhaging of people going elsewhere.
I agree.
Speaking of spending money wisely, the new round of stimulus for small businesses that didn't get in on the first round, it seems like there's a lot of complaints that some of the bigger companies, connected companies across the nation got the money first and small businesses didn't. And some small businesses didn't. It did work for some, but it quickly ran out. How close are you to re-upping that?
So, Dan, I would say that the program first time around, the PPP program that you referenced, I thought it worked very well. Now, I worked on a daily basis with our community banks, our lenders locally here, whether it was CEFCU or Morton Community Bank or PNC. I mean, if you talk to small businesses that got in early, they got their money. They're fairly happy about it. Now, not everybody got in because the $350 billion that went across the country, yes, it ran out. It went too quickly because the program is popular. And there were some that were on the ball and got in earlier. And I should also say that includes restaurants and bars. So we have to replenish that money. So that we've asked for $250 billion more dollars so that businesses out there don't go bankrupt. The Senate, I anticipate, will vote on this today or tomorrow. I'm flying back to D.C. on Thursday, and I think we'll vote on either Thursday night or Friday. This is the one program that I think has worked. We have an obligation and responsibility to continue to fund it. Doesn't mean, Danny, there weren't hiccups or things we need to change to make sure it includes everybody. And you referenced some of those large businesses I know like Ruth Chris Steakhouse and Shake Shack and a number of these others, these large corporations got the money. But the vast majority, 99.9%, were small businesses.
I have a big picture question for you, and this is just you and I and Dan talking as guys. Is it strike you, Darren, this is the most important thing you've probably done in your career right now?
I think so, absolutely. If you look at the amount of money we're spending, the last bill, Greg, was the largest bill ever passed in the history of the Congress, $2.2 trillion. This next one's going to be, close to $500 billion. And, I mean, this came up on us so quickly. And the other odd thing is to be away from Washington, D.C., and to be doing this remotely and doing this by Zoom and phone. I mean, that's the thing that's just different and been disruptive in so many ways.
Right.
And it's the world dealing with it. It's not just America. It's the entire world. But, yes, it is. It has been a crazy and unprecedented time.
Well, everything's on the line for all of us, the world included. Everything's on the line. We got to either do this right or catastrophe.
So in this great unwind, as I call it, it's going to be in stages. When it comes to Illinois, downstate Illinois in your district, how much are you going to be involved in the discussions, not only with local leaders, but even the governor? I mean, we've had our infectious disease expert, Doug Casper, say if you look at the numbers, we're in a different situation in Chicago. We may be more capable of opening up early rather than Chicago. Are you going to be involved in those discussions?
Yes, Dan, and I was in Springfield yesterday and with a number of other people. And the argument that I made there is we are much more like Missouri or Iowa in downstate Illinois than we are Chicago. Look at the governor of Iowa the governor of Missouri just announced they're opening up May 1st. They're transitioning back. And I think we ought to take, some cues from other states that are more similar to us in downstate. What I've said is we ought to go to a tiered approach. I've recommended that to the governor, a 3-tiered approach. Tier 1 is the hot spots like Chicago, but Tier 3 is, downstate Illinois. It's Peoria. We've been fortunate. We have not had the infection rates and other things, and we always have to listen to the health experts. We have to get the testing ramped up. I'm fully in agreement on that. We have to get testing that's efficient and effective and done quickly. The federal government's working on that now, but we can transition a lot quicker. And the other thing is, we've heard the expression, it is not a light switch, Dan. But remember, for 5 weeks, people in downstate have been compliant. We've listened. We've followed instruction. We're going to do that once we open back up. We are resourceful. We are resilient. We will do it. But you got to give people that flexibility and that discretion to get back to normality. And the last thing I would say is the coronavirus kills people. But I'm going to tell you this, poverty kills people. And the more you go without giving people a check or money or an opportunity to get out, you're going to have a lot of other problems in our society.
I have to go back a step because somebody sent me a text and back to money, the funding of the money and such. And real quick, because we're almost out of time. This listener wants to know about the SBA $10,000 grants. I'm unfamiliar. This person says they seem to be lost. Many of us have applied and have heard nothing. Can you speak to that?
So yeah, that's the EIDL program that he's referencing or she's referencing through the SBA.
Okay.
That's up to $10 million that you can get there in increments of 10,000. So that program is the bill we're voting on Thursday is going to replenish that.
Okay.
We're going to put an additional about $25 billion in there. So that's another one that ran out of money, but that's one that goes directly to small businesses. I fully support it. We got to have more money in there, and I anticipate when we vote on Thursday, it'll be in there.
All right, sir. Congressman Darren LaHood, 18th District. We'll talk to you the next time we talk to you.
Hey, guys, have a good week. Thanks for having me on.